Hello people, it's Secret Anime Fan here and welcome to my new series which will be about One Piece birthdays, a video to highlight and celebrate a character. In these videos I'll show some love to the character depending on if they're good or bad. If they're good I'll celebrate them, if they're bad then I'll just acknowledge them I suppose. But nevertheless I will discuss my favourite things about them, like their appearances in the story, might delve into their personalities, power and just things in general. And I'll basically mainly just sharing my memories of the character. So if you'd like to share your favourite memory of the character I'm about to talk about, or any One Piece character, then go ahead in the comment section. Now this character has a decent appearance in One Piece, and he definitely has some good memories to talk about. But before I do that, let's get his age out of the way. So he was born on July 4th, which reminds me, happy July 4th to all the Americans out there. So basically, he is 32 since the time skip. Now, we don't know if July 4th has passed in the story so far since the time skip. So he could still be 32 or he could be 33 by now. Now, let's talk about Caribou. And of course, there will be anime and manga spoilers. First of all, I hate this character. I hate him. But if you're familiar with the manga recently, then you know that Caribou might just be redeeming himself. So maybe he's gone from Caribou the Manipulator, which I used to call him, or I've just made up now, to Caribou the Redeemer. Now this development has notched my interest in Caribou by about tenfold. Before I thought of him as a nuisance and a very serious threat in a sense. More on that in a minute, but he might be turning a new page in the One Piece story. So let's talk about that memory first. So we see Caribou is now actually helping Luffy, and in a sense totally not helping Luffy. He helped Luffy eat the food, I think it's Oshikoro, which of course backfired on them tremendously in the long run. But I suppose it's the intent that matters. He also helped Raizu disable the Den Mushi of Udon, which helped the Straw Hats quite a lot. That could also backfire if they need to contact the Straw Hats, but we'll have to see how that develops. Now let's delve into the whole change of heart thing. I'm not buying it at all from Caribou. I think he has ulterior motives, whether he wants a free ticket out of Udon or Wano, which he actually states. He basically wants to leave Wano with the Straw Hats. But just maybe he has more ulterior motives. Maybe he wants to inevitably betray Luffy by helping Kaido find Luffy. Or here's another speculation that I like. He might be getting info on Luffy to give to like Blackbeard or something to gain favour with Blackbeard, and then maybe join Blackbeard's crew. Not as a commander or anything, just join his crew. Now maybe he will join the Kid Pirates, but there seems to be no love there between Kid and Caribou. Caribou basically calls him a has-been, and Kid basically threw a pickaxe at Caribou, nearly hitting him. Now this moment here is probably my favourite recent moment so far involving Caribou. Luffy rejects him, saying go team up with Kid, and Kid's like nope, not going to happen. Well, he doesn't actually specifically say he wouldn't team up with Caribou or let him in his crew. So that might still come to fruition, but I don't think that's likely. Now, Luffy does eventually accept Caribou's request for help, and Luffy, in typical Luffy fashion, says yes when Caribou's like, please Luffy, I've changed my ways. And Luffy's like, well, if you've changed your ways, then it's okay. I found this whole scenario just really funny and I loved it. Now I'm going to talk about some moments involving Caribou before this whole redeeming saga, as I like to call it. So let's talk about his first appearance, where he teamed up with the fake Straw Hat, whom I will most likely eventually make a video on. Now this introduction of Caribou during the Straw Hat's return to Sabaody definitely set up some flags that he will be a threat in the future. It didn't quite, or it hasn't quite turned out like I thought it was, because he's no threat to Luffy in terms of strength, but in another way, like he's a threat in another way, but we'll get to that in a minute. His introduction did, however, set it straight that he is no angel, which let me know straight away that I didn't like this guy at all. Now let's talk about something slightly different, and that is that his personality definitely suits Kid's crew more, so maybe he will join Kid's crew. But on the other hand, he's teaming up with the fake Straw Hats, kind of lets me know that maybe, just maybe, he will be an ally of the Straw Hats, or ally with the Straw Hats, but he will not be a reliable ally. I mean, he even says when he teamed up with the fake Straw Hats, that he wanted to kill the Straw Hats, and that was his whole deal when he teamed up with the fake Straw Hats, because he thought that they were the real Straw Hats, and so on and so on. He did, though, in a twisted way, make me like him a bit when he wanted to punish the fake Straw Hats by burying them alive. Sure, it's sadistic and it makes me sound sadistic, but this is the anime, so it's not like it's real life or anything. I just thought it was nice to see the fake Straw Hats exposed and punished. All in all, this introduction was okay. It was okay. I was not really sold on his character at the time. Okay, let's talk about my favourite moment involving Caribou, and it's definitely the most interesting, and of course, it's his antics during the Fishman Island. In fact, it's one of my favourite things I liked about, or that I took from that arc. First of all, what he did to the mermaids was bad enough, and its consequences causing trouble for the Straw Hats pirates, but his actions of trying to catch Princess Shirahoshi, absolutely unacceptable. This was like the pinnacle of my hate for Caribou, like the moment he tried to do that. And the fact that he knows that Princess Shirahoshi is Poseidon, one of the 3 ancient weapons. Boy, was this moment good. I love this moment. It made me vastly more interested in Caribou as a character. He went from a guy I just wanted to see like defeated and thrown away, to a guy I wanted to see involved in the story in a big way, which by the looks of it is starting to become true. On a side note, he has been defeated and thrown away many times actually. He's been thrown, punched, kicked, dragged, you name it. It's pretty much happened to Caribou. He's basically just a punching bag. So those are my favourite memories involving Caribou. He does have other appearances where he's shown to be disloyal, selfish, and a manipulative person, which is why I called him Caribou the Manipulator earlier on in the video. Basically, at any chance, he tries to manipulate the situation in his favour. For example, as soon as he is defeated, which as I said, he's been defeated a lot, he tries to beg for mercy and tries to get in like the person's good books in a sense. And as I said before, he only wanted to befriend the Straw Hat crew to either kill them and like to kill them / capture their bounties. But Caribou does have some value. He knows quite a lot about the world and about piracy. For example, he lets the Straw Hats know that they can leave the ship when their ship was coated and they were trying to go to Fishman Island. They basically encountered a kraken, and he basically let them know if you coat yourselves, or there's a method that you can coat yourselves so you can leave the ship, and they basically used that and they defeated the kraken. So he could very well help the Straw Hats, but the balance between what he can provide to what he will take away, for me, the balance leans towards being more negative. Knowing Oda though, it will probably scale in favour of the Straw Hat until the whole Poseidon thing like gets leaked out, leading to major problems for the Straw Hats. Now let's move on to my opinions on his Devil Fruit and talk about Haki. I remember at the time when I was first watching One Piece, that Caribou's Devil Fruit was pretty lame to me, especially when you compare it to like magma or lava, ice, fire, and so on. But I suppose they also had them Devil Fruits had something in their favour. They had badass characters like wielding them or possessing that power, so that might have like affected my opinion, whereas my opinion of Caribou was pretty low. So that probably like affected my opinion on his Devil Fruit. But my opinion has changed on his Devil Fruit. It's actually pretty cool. He could store like multiple things in his body, such as weapons and even people. It would definitely have some use to it to like slow and overwhelm people if he had strong enough Haki. If he was facing another Haki user, maybe that could work, like he could slow them down. It would depend how strong his Haki is. I'm not even sure how Haki would affect his abilities of his Devil Fruit. On the other hand, Conqueror's Haki can also take out a vast amount of people, and it seems the superior of the two between Caribou and his Devil Fruit. But Caribou wouldn't have to worry about that, because I highly doubt he would have Conqueror's Haki. It's also stated that his Devil Fruit is bottomless, which I suppose we should take with a little bit of grain of salt. But he can like shut people up by concealing like their mouth or covering their mouth so they can't talk, which would be pretty cool. He can probably sneak up to people with his Devil Fruit, which leads on to my next topic I'm about to talk about. Caribou could very well be an effective spy, so if he had to join the Straw Hats, like for some reason he just had to join the Straw Hats, or in some twisted way, no, I don't know, some reason he joined the Straw Hats, then he could definitely take the role of spy. And by the way, I definitely do not endorse him becoming a Straw Hat, of course. A spy doesn't really suit a pirate crew, but neither does an archaeologist like Robin is. Although, of course, Robin is very important to the crew, both as a nakama and just as a person in general, an archaeologist for the Straw Hat, any person or Straw Hats trying to reach Raftel. Having Robin on your team is the essential thing to have, basically. She's arguably one of the most important characters in the whole of One Piece. And of course, I'm just having a little bit of fun here. It's not to like be taken seriously. I don't think that Robin's not important to the crew. A spy, though, could also be very important to the Straw Hats, piracy aside, as they always end up on land, and someone who could gather information could be very, very, very useful. Moving on to Haki, it seems he doesn't have any Haki, and like many Logia users, relies on his abilities as a Logia user for his strength. He's defeated by Jinbei, Peckham's, and X-Drake, all by the way of Haki. Well, most likely, I think they all defeated him by Haki. Now, maybe he has just weak Haki, and they defeated him because he had weak Haki, but I think he will learn Haki in Wano arc. And the reason I say that is that Caribou has been observing Luffy using Haki a lot in the recent chapters, and I just think that Caribou might be looking at Luffy and thinking, okay, I should learn that, and he's kind of thinking, okay, I'm going to use that. That's just my opinion, that Caribou by the end of Wano will know Haki if he hasn't already mastered Haki already. Now, I was going to end the video, but I actually have one more observation to make, and it's linked to the time that Caribou was mistaken for a Revolutionary Army member. I think you can tell where I'm going with this, perhaps with his ability to be a good spy and the fact that he's actually helped the revolutionaries once out already. He might get recruited by the Revolutionary Army. Still, with his nature and personality, I just don't think this will happen. On a side note, this is also the time that Caribou made an enemy out of Kaido, and of course this is why he got captured, and that's why he's in Wano, because he actually defeated Scotch, who was a part of Kaido's crew. So maybe that alone will ensure he doesn't betray the Straw Hats, at least during Wano, because he knows that Kaido will probably want to kill him or just recapture him and, you know, make him a prisoner again. Anyway, happy birthday to Caribou the Redeemer, or Caribou the Manipulator as I like to call him. Let me know in the comment section which name suits him best, or suggest a new name, that would be cool. Also, I missed Nami's birthday as that was yesterday, which really annoyed me that I wasn't on the ball to make that video because I was just, you know, spending some time doing other things. As I really would have loved covering one of the Straw Hat's birthdays, but, you know, you have to wait until the next Straw Hat birthday, which I have to check when that is. If you're wondering whose birthday is coming up, it's Lucky Roo of Shanks' crew, who I really love, by the way, both Lucky Roo and Shanks. And on the same day is Namar, I think it is, of the Whitebeard Pirates, who is the Fishman, if you remember the Fishman who was one of Whitebeard's commanders, I think it is. And him being a Fishman is very interesting as well. And that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe, and see ya.